The latest news and interesting guests. It's the Bill and Joel Morning Show on North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
6:43, 17 minutes away from 7 o'clock with the Bill and Joel Morning Show. Of course, we all know that the entertainment industry in Atlanta is burgeoning. Movies, television shows being shot all over the place. And there are many different ways to be part of what's going on there. But we have a rather unique way for you to be involved in one particular project going on with a Georgia filmmaker.
Yeah, John Graham joins us now. He's producer and co-writer of Kind Katie. John, nice to have you on the program this morning.
Hey, guys. So grateful to be on the call. Thank you so much.
John's got a radio background, so we appreciate that. But love what you're doing these days as a producer and co-writer. And a lot of people might think, oh, you know, Georgia, a lot of movies coming. But this is far from that. You had this in mind. I know it's a story that is very, very tender, very near to the heart. Before we get into the story, I want to just get a little background. What led you into movie producing and writing?
Well, for the past 10 years, I have been the video producer for the Georgia Baptist Mission Board and really cut my teeth there as far as that goes. And as the film industry continued to grow, it just seemed like the writing was on the wall to try to dip my toe in that. And God just kind of put it right in my face. It was a full immersion experience with this project. So, you know, it's just something a lot of video corporate guys dream of, is getting onto the entertainment side of that as well. So it's been a really neat experience.
Well, I find what's unique about one of the things that we're speaking about today, along with just the film itself, is the fact that folks can be part of it, but not the way you think of it. When we think about being part of a movie, walk on, acting, that sort of thing, but they can actually be an investor in this film.
Yeah, back in 2016, through some new legislation, the Jobs Act, one of those facets of that legislation was it opened up anybody to be able to invest in startup companies, whereas before you had to be a qualified investor, which meant your net worth had to reach a particular minimum amount. And that was designed to protect the investor and not be taken advantage of. But in 2016, they changed that to where anybody can invest up to some particular limits. And I only saw it applied in the film industry one other time from a Christmas movie that's being produced out in L.A. And I thought, this is the ticket. This kind of story is ideal for this kind of investment strategy. And so we put it to use. And it's getting a little traction, and we're excited about it.
That is fantastic. We're talking with John Graham, producer and co-writer of Kind Katie. So let's talk about Kind Katie. Katie Beth Carter. Give us a story in a nutshell.
Well, Katie Beth Carter was a high school senior in Ringgold, Georgia, and she had a dream to be a marching ballerina for the Jacksonville State University team. The marching ballerinas are kind of like their drill team squad, their dance team during the high school, during the football games, college football games. And her senior year, she was expecting, just sort of as a formality, she auditioned for her high school team. She'd done it for several years, and she didn't make the team. And her senior year was kind of marked with setbacks and roadblocks to that dream. And she continued to press on. Her nature was so infectious at school. People just loved her. And she literally was known as Kind Katie. And through the process, Katie Beth actually did make the team, and she went through a great summer of preparation. She marched in one university game and then was tragically killed in a car accident Labor Day 2016. And what really inspired me to take this story to the big screen was I saw a group of high school kids, literally one class, about 40 kids, go out into Ringgold, Georgia, which is not a huge municipality by any stretch, and raised $60,000.
Wow.
And they have built a school in Nicaragua in her honor. And there's several other things that came out from that. That by far is the most, surprising thing. But she was such a light in that community that it was no problem. People said, whatever we can do to honor her. And so this is just my extension of that. She was a beautiful young lady, and I'm excited about making this film happen.
I'm getting kind of weak-kneed here just hearing the story, and I know that everybody who reads the script is one, I guess is Julie Fairchild from Lovell Fairchild and his team PR company called you and said, I'm sitting in a puddle of tears. I mean, this is going to be a very emotional movie. I think it speaks highly of Katie that these things everything kind of came together for her before the end of her life, and yet this is a quick turnaround to do a movie, which I would think, John, really speaks highly of this young lady. I mean, you can't wait to tell the story, right?
I can't wait to tell it. It's such a beautiful story, and really, though, yes, it is emotional. It's also, in two directions. You're obviously sad about her death and this young life being taken away. But she lived her life in such a way where she was always investing in others. And she had a keen sense of what is eternal. And that really marked her senior year. She made important, eternal decisions that paid off, and she didn't even know they would, obviously. And so it's an inspirational story. It's uplifting because you see, here's an example of somebody who left a mark, and it only took her 18 young years to leave a huge mark. And so, the message of the film is, A, we can redeem grief. God does amazing, beautiful things, even in spite of our grief. And secondly, we've got to get out there and live a life like Katie Beth did. So it's a really exciting opportunity.
If folks want to become involved, and we talked about becoming a micro investor, what's involved in that, and how would they do it if they want to support this project?
It's really simple. It takes a minimum of $100. That's the SEC's regulations, not mine. And so a minimum of $100 investment. You just go to kindkatie.com, and that's spelled Katie, kindkatie.com. And it's about as simple as buying something off of Amazon. You just got to click a few links and put in your information. And there's some perks there and things. This is different than crowdfunding because there's an actual return on investment when the film is successful. So that's what sets it apart. And we're looking forward to hopefully really, making an impact in that respect as well.
John, I hope you'll get back with us and keep us updated through the production of this and release date and things along those lines, because this is a great story to tell. I'm glad you're taking this under your belt to do that with a lot of other people. And we wish you the very best on this. I mean, in every aspect, we wish you the very best.